Hi, Karen here. Today we're going to be making a fan card. This is something that's starting to make its rounds. I've seen a couple people do it. Sam Colcott made one, and a couple ladies in Germany have made them. But what it is a card that when you open it up, it opens up like a fan. And this one I've put daisies on it. I made it a birthday card. And you can put any flower, butterfly, you can put anything you want on there that would go in a circle. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. So let me get the camera turned around and we will get started. All right, before we get started, let's go over what we're going to need to make this card. You're going to need an 8.5 by 11, and we're going to score it at a half, 1, 4.5, and 8, and then we're going to cut that into 11 1-inch strips. So you're going to need between 15 and 22 flowers that are about an 1.5 inches big. I'm going to be using these here. You're going to want some leaves. You're going to want some long ones that we're going to put on the bottom. And then you're going to want some short ones that we're going to put on the front of the card. You're going to want some solid paper. You're going to want some print paper to do the mat and lay on the card. And you're going to want some for the inside. You can use a print or a solid. We're going to be about 5 by 7. Here is a lot of personal choice. You can make it smaller if you want. Just depends on what you want to do on the inside. You're going to want some nesting ovals so we can do our sentiments in the inside. And that's pretty much it. So this is the mock-up that I made to see if the dimensions were correct. So that is the sample that is going in my Foldopedia. So let's start with scoring the one page we have to score. All right, so we want to cut this into 11 1-inch strips. So we're going to score it on the 8.5-inch side. So we are going to score this at a half, 1 inch, at 4.5, and then at 8. So we have 2 half-inch sections over here, a half-inch section here, and then it's scored, which will be down the middle. So once we do that, then we're going to cut it into strips. All right, so now we're going to lay this lengthwise. So we have 11 inches here. So we will go to 10 inches. We will cut a strip. Then we will go to 9 inches. Cut a strip, and so on. I'll cut one more. And so on. So we keep going until we get to the end. Now I went ahead and I already cut a bunch. But I will show you here what we're going to do. So you're going to need 11 of these. So here's some that are already folded. So basically we're going to fold it here. This gets folded down. This will fold down. This will fold up. We will glue this together. And where that is folded, we're just going to put it together like this. So now we end up with this piece like this. Now, I did trim the corners because when I put the flower on, it kind of stuck out on the side. Where's my sample? It kind of showed, and I didn't like that. So I decided I was going to trim the top. So to do that, you do not have to be precise on this. We're just going to go snip and snip. You just want it enough to hide it under the flowers. So see, that's going to look a lot better. Now when this opens up, the flower will be here on the top, but you won't see all that extra hanging out. Just give that a second to dry, and then we will open it up to where it's sticking out, not in. So we're going to have a point, and then we're just going to snip the point. And like I said, that is not exact science. So we will do that for all 11. So once you get all 11 cut, then you're going to start with 1. And about halfway down, you're going to put glue down this side. And you're going to start overlapping them about half. And once you do the first one, you'll just use this one for a gauge for the rest of them. Because you'll see here when I go to lay the next one down. So when we lay the next one down, if I hold it up, you can see I'm going to lay it here. So the edge of this is the edge, matches the edge of your first one. So you don't get too much bulk. And if it overlaps, it is not a crisis. It's not going to make it not work. It just, you get less bulk that way. So then you just keep gluing them on. And when you lay it down and you're looking at it from where I'm sitting, you can absolutely see where the other one stopped, and then you just line it up and you put them down. So I started gluing some together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need 1 more. So we'll put 1 more in here. We'll put this here. And we can glue this to the ones I already started. And remember, the center you want pointing out. We're not gluing that part down. We'll just lay this here. All right, and we'll let this dry. We'll put this up here and let it dry. All right. So now let's bring in our card base. All right, so I just have a regular 5x7 card base. And let's get the paper glued in there. All right, so I have 2 papers that I decided I was going to give it a little bit of edge around it. So they are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. These will be the ones that will be on the inside. Make sure I have the right ones, because my one for the front is slightly smaller. So we're going to put that up here. So again, these are 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. There again, you could go straight 5x7. If you want to go 5x7 and go all the way across, I would just cut a very slim, just eyelash off the side, just so it doesn't hit the fold. That one here. This one on this side. And this paper, you don't want too busy on the inside. You can go solid, definitely, because there's going to be a lot going on the fan part. But you don't want this to be too busy. I thought about looking for some paper that looked like grass, but I couldn't find any. So we're going to go with this that kind of looks like a basket almost. But it's green, so it'll be good. All right, so that's going to be the inside. Now on the outside, we have a solid 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I have a print 4.5 by 6.5, and those are going to be on the front. This way everything will have a chance to dry while we do the flowers. All right, so that is all prepped and ready to go. So now let's talk about the flowers. Now you can do any kind of flower you want. Let me bring this in. I have everything sitting on a sheet here. Now for the flowers, I went with something I did on my Cameo, and I'm sure we all have got flowers. Let me put this on the gray so it shows up a little bit better. Something along this line. You can do roses, you can do daisies, you can do whatever you want on here. You just want a flower that's about 1.5 inches. So we're just going to put a little dab of glue on here, and I'm going to stack it off center from the first one to get a nice full flower. And then I will take, and then I have just a brown circle to put in the middle. Right, and that will just need a moment to dry. And then I just bent each little petal. And I know they will flatten when they're in the card, but they'll still have a little bit of depth to them. All right, and then I just ran some ink. Now the color I used for the yellow, I used sweet mango and honey mustard on the flowers, and then I used the light spruce on the leaves. And it really depends on what color you're doing. This is going to be different depending on which flower you're using. And then all I really did, so I bent these first. And I bent it first so where it's bent will give it a little bit of more shape and a little bit, maybe, a little bit more character. All right, so we just bent that a little bit. Then I just took the orange, just the sweet mango, and I just went roundy, roundy. And then I took my little brush, and I love these little ones. These are from Simon Says Stamp, and I know other companies are making them now too. And go around the middle. Maybe a little bit more around the outside. And that's it. Let it dry. That is all there is to it, to the flowers. So I made a bunch. We'll bring them in. I made a bunch. And then I cut some long skinny ones that are kind of like sunflowers. And I simply ran some ink on those. Pull this in. Just went up and down those. Like that, just to give them some color. And I did that with those. The ones for the front of the card, I just kind of bent in the middle. And then again, I just went over with the green just to give them a little bit of color. We have those over here. So there's 3 that are bigger. And then we have the other flowers. All right, so let's see what we have here. Let's bring in the flowers. Let's see if this is now getting dry. All right, so now we're going to glue this into the card. We'll glue it in first. Let's see, so I want the one I glued in. We'll put on this side. So you're going to take this and lay it flat. All right, you're going to take, I would put glue about 3/4 of the way up because you want it to have a little bit of give on the top so it lifts up a little bit. So you're going to glue this side on the top, you're going to flip it over, and you're going to glue the other side. So I have glue on this side, which is going down, and this glue will sit on top. And you'll just put it in the fold of your card. This is where you're going to want to make sure your flowers stay inside, which is why you want to put this in first before you attach your flowers. And then you're going to close your card. Give your glue a second to grab for whatever kind of glue you have. Then when you open it, I know this is still very wet. It's going to open up like that. So now it's just a matter of decorating it with however you want. You can do flowers, you can do butterflies, you can do combinations of things. All right, I'm going to give that a second to set up, closed, for a moment. Okay, I think it's had enough time to grab hold now. So now my card will open flat. So now we're going to decorate it. So I'm going to turn it at an angle here to decorate it. And one thing I noticed when you're looking at the card and you're holding it, you see this side here, and then you have your centerpiece, and then this side is toward the back. So what I decided to do when I was putting the flowers on is find your middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 5, 5, and then the 6 is in the middle. So the one that's in the middle, I'm going to put on first so I can remember where the middle is. Because the middle one, it doesn't matter which side you attach the flower to, because that one sits kind of flat when you open it. You just want to make sure that when it closes, it's not going to catch. Which, since these all open up, you get a lot less space there that could catch. So you just want to make sure you're not going to wrinkle your flowers when it closes. All right, so we have our middle flower. So the ones on this side, we are going to attach, if you see what I did on this one, we're going to attach it to this side. It just looks better. You could alternate it if you want. I just thought it looked a little bit better when you did it on this side, up until here. So these 5 will be on this side. And we'll just stick them on. If you want to hold up, fold it upright so you can see where your petals aren't going to get bent, we're just going to put these on. Trying to hold my hand so you can see what I'm doing. Makes it a little awkward. Yes, just make sure your petals aren't catching. I'm gonna move that one down a little bit so it covers that a little bit more. Let me close it, make sure we're all set, and we're going to close okay. See, this one's catching a little bit. There we go. That one didn't open right. All right. All right, so we're good. Make sure everybody's inside the card. We're hanging out a little bit, so let's move that one down just a tad. Let's see. This one is the one sticking out. Let's see if that's better. Yep, that's better. Okay, so just make sure everybody's hanging in there. So I'm going to turn it. So I did the front here, so you can see here what I'm saying, how the way these are all going to lay. Do it in the front, but on this side, you see this side first. So you're going to want to put the flowers on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'll put the 5 flowers on this side. And make sure that one's not going to stick out. Move him down just a little. Yep, now we're good. All right, and we'll put that one on. And we'll put this one on. And this one. Oh, is that one? Yeah. Let me move these out of the way. These are slightly bigger for the front. We're all still good. And we'll put one more here. And we'll move this one over just a little so it doesn't stick out. Yep, you are really sticking out. All right, we'll move you over there. Okay, now nobody's sticking out. All right. Okay. So some of the cards I've seen like this, and I guess it started in Germany, the lady that made one. And I didn't see that original video, but I saw where Sam Colcott did one. And she did, you know, she left it like this on the top. But I wanted to put some leaves on the side. So first I started with getting long leaves that are on a sunflower. And if you're doing a different kind of flower, you would, you know, put different ones on here. And I am going to put this on here. And after I get it on there, I'm going to take my little scissors. I'm going to snip it off because I'm trying to figure out exactly how much I wanted to snip off there. I wasn't exactly sure. All right, so I think I'm just going to, I think it's about that much I want to snip off. And you can have these hang off. Have them go in little different directions. They all don't have to be the same length. All right, so now when we're looking at our card here, so now we have to decide. Now we're in the middle one again. So now we're going to be on this side. So now we have to decide, we want to put, you can put your leaves coming out this way, which I think will make them more visible. Or you can keep going. Or you can skip this altogether if you don't want to put any leaves on here. I just thought it kind of added a little bit to the card. Put one in here. All right, I'm going to turn this. It's a little awkward the way I'm holding this right here. I'm going to pull that out like that a little bit, because you most definitely can pull these out. You can have them hang off however much you want, because this is on the inside of the card, so you don't have to worry about it sticking out of the card. And I don't think I want one on that one, but I will put one, let's say this middle one. I think actually the middle one, I might put two. It's just the way it's sitting here. I think I'm going to put one on each side. Yeah, that just looks a little more finished. Now the other thing you can do, if you want, on some of these, let's see how this is going to close. All right, we're still good. Was trying to decide if on some of these I wanted to put, what are we doing here? There you go. Let me move this one. I don't like the way that one's sitting. Stick you up further. Yep, we're still good. I should put some flowers on here. Maybe here. Maybe not. You know what? I was thinking about it, but now I'm thinking maybe we don't want to add more flowers. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yep, I think I'll leave it that way. All right, so now we have our sentiments and our messages. So for the inside, I have this oval and it says, as you celebrate your birthday, warmest wishes on your way for all that makes you happy on this very day. So I'm just going to glue this together. I'm going to use the Call glue. Now, if you have a different kind of flower, maybe it would look good if you put them across the bottom here, but for this, I think I'm just going to leave it. And then I just have this circle, well, this oval is the green is about 3 3/4. So when you're looking at your nesting dies, you want something about 3 3/4 or 3 1/2, somewhere around there. Use what you have. A rectangle would fit in here, and so would a square just as easily. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm put it a little crooked. Now I guess if you wanted to, it was a little empty up here. Maybe I'll put 3 flowers up here. You know what? I think I will. I'm going to put 3 little flowers up here. This looks kind of empty up here. I have these extra ones. There we go. So the inside of the card is all done. Now we'll close this up. Now for the front, I have an oval, which is, let's say this one is 5 1/4. And the brown is 5 3/4. Put that up there to dry. I've already stamped happy birthday to you on here. So I'm going to glue this to here. Now I'm going to take my 3 bigger flowers and I'm going to arrange them, I think like this. I'm only going to use this because it takes it a while to set up, and it allows me to push things underneath here. I'm going to put these 2 on here. I will put this one in the middle. Yeah, silicone glue is really slippery and it takes it a while to set up, but that also gives you time to put other things in there. There, I think like that. And this will just get glued to the front. All right, so I have a couple flowers left. Do I want to put one up here by itself or leave it like that? Maybe some gems. And then when we open it up, it's like that. This is really a straightforward card, but it's really impressive when you put it together. And you just have to have the 11 strips so your card will actually open flat. But yeah, so that's it. Here it is. So let me get the camera turned around. All right, so we're all done. So here's our card. Happy birthday. This still needs a minute to dry. We open it up. Here's our fan with our sentiment in it. Yeah, you know, depending on what you've put in there, you can put more things, you know, down here. If you wanted to put butterflies, ladybugs, pretty much anything you want, you could put along here. And just make it look like a garden that opens up. So there it is. So if you enjoyed this card, give it a try and give me a like. And if you want to see the other things I'm making, because we're going to have a bunch of things coming in July, you know, subscribe so you'll get a notification when I have new videos. And until next time, stay crafty.